Hi, welcome back to Science 1206, the Sustainability of Ecosystems unit. I'm Ms. Ledwell, and in this video, we'll talk about abiotic interactions and sustainability. Let's begin. Recall that abiotic factors are the non-living parts of an ecosystem that shape the environment. The abiotic factors in an ecosystem determine which organisms can or cannot live in that ecosystem. Can you see any abiotic factors in the cartoon image below? If you noticed rocks, sunlight, and water, you identified 3 abiotic factors. Some examples of abiotic factors include sunlight, oxygen, nutrients, soil, water, pH, air, temperature, and space. Next, we're going to discuss a few of the abiotic factors in an ecosystem in a little more detail. We'll look at water first. All organisms need water for survival. Therefore, water is essential for the sustainability of ecosystems. Natural processes and human activities can affect the amount, quantity, and quality of water in an ecosystem. The availability and quality of water are factors in determining which organisms can live in an ecosystem. Next, let's look at oxygen as an example of an abiotic factor in an ecosystem that can affect sustainability. Most living things require oxygen for life processes. Plants, for example, release oxygen during photosynthesis. Some microorganisms use oxygen during the decomposition process to break down organic matter. Animals on land breathe in oxygen from the air, and fish obtain dissolved oxygen from water when it passes over their gills. Human activities can impact oxygen levels in water bodies in particular. For example, sewage and waste from factories running into rivers, lakes, and streams can lead to low oxygen levels and the introduction of other pollutants. Low oxygen levels may result in the death of fish and other aquatic organisms, altering the ecosystem. Next up, we'll look at nutrients. All living things, plants, animals, and microorganisms need nutrients to grow and survive. Plants absorb nutrients from the soil. When decomposers break down dead plants and animals, they add nutrients to the soil. Animals obtain most of the nutrients they need by eating food, either plants, which we know herbivores have a plant-based diet, other animals, carnivores have a meat-based diet, or both, omnivores. Human activities can affect the nutrient levels in an ecosystem. Intensive farming can deplete the soil of nutrients. Ecosystems that have few nutrients cannot support a wide variety of organisms. Excessive nutrients can also impact an ecosystem. Runoff from factories, sewage, and farms can add nutrients to bodies of water. This can lead to algal blooms, which use up oxygen and nutrients that other organisms depend on for survival. Now we'll look at the abiotic factor of soil in an ecosystem. Soil is another abiotic factor that is important to living organisms and the health of ecosystems. Plants, the base of food chains and food webs, obtain nutrients from the soil. The soil also provides a habitat for many microorganisms. Human activities such as urbanization, deforestation, and some agricultural practices can lead to increased soil erosion and soil washing away, negatively impacting the sustainability of ecosystems. Light is another abiotic factor that's important in an ecosystem. Light is an abiotic factor that affects plant growth, as plants need light for photosynthesis. The amount of light an ecosystem receives could be impacted by a number of factors. If trees in a forest grow very tall, they may block the light from the plants beneath them. In aquatic ecosystems, high levels of sediment in the water can greatly reduce the amount of light. The darkest parts of the ocean, where no sunlight can reach, have no plants because plants cannot photosynthesize without light. Industrial development is one of the biggest threats to ecosystems around the world. Activities such as logging, mining, petroleum extraction, and building hydroelectric dams can result in habitat loss, in addition to air, water, and land pollution. Additional threats to ecosystems arise from the introduction of invasive species, which can outcompete native species for resources. Furthermore, climate change is altering food availability for organisms and disrupting traditional animal migration routes. Now it's time to review. Complete the learning activities in Brightspace.